Yo, what is up guys? This is Pedro here, and in today's video I will be grading the Washington football team's 2021 off-season. We'll be talking about free agency, the draft, and their front office additions, so make sure to stick around to the end to see what grade I give the Washington football team. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content. So let's get right into the video. Okay, so overall, I think the Washington football team did a really good job this offseason, both in free agency and the draft, and, they did add some people to their front office. So let's go ahead and start with free agency. So they went out, got Ryan Fitzpatrick, Curtis Samuel, Adam Humphries, Sammis Reyes, Charles Leno, William Jackson, Bobby McCain, and you guys can see some of the other names on that list. I think in free agency they did a great job. They didn't really overpay for anyone. I thought they got a good deal with Curtis Samuel, only having to pay him about $11 million a year, when someone like Kenny Golladay, they had to pay him like $18 million a year. We got William Jackson, who's going to be our number one corner. And once Ronald Darby left, we had a hole at cornerback and we got an upgrade over Ronald Darby. We didn't address the linebacker position in free agency, but also there weren't really any great players out there because Levante David, re-signed with the Bucks, and some other guys, Matt Milano, also re-signed with the Bills. So there weren't any great options in free agency, but we did address that in the draft, which we'll talk about later. But I really like the addition of Curtis Samuel to the Washington football team. Wide receiver, at least wide receiver depth, was arguably one of our biggest holes coming into this, off season, because we had Terry, and really that was basically it, because a lot of the other guys were, Cam Sims was a free agent, and we really didn't have anyone else. And we went out, signed Curtis Samuel, who, just came off of his best season, 850 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns, and then had 200 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns. And what I love about this signing is you see Curtis Samuel, he's gotten better every single year. From his rookie year all the way to this past season. I think we got a solid, I think we paid, it was a good deal for us, in my opinion, only having to pay him $11 million per year. And I think this will be his first season over 1,000 yards receiving. I think he can do it. Had 1,000 yards from scrimmage this year, but I think receiving, he'll be able to do that, especially with Ryan Fitzpatrick. I really like this move because it also opens up, a lot of things in this offense. He can line up as a running back occasionally. He did that with Carolina, and it helps out Terry McLaurin a lot because, he is a good separator, and, if teams won't be able to just double team Terry constantly, because there's going to be other guys, including Curtis Samuel, Adam Humphries, and De'Ami Brown, that are going to, wreak some havoc as well. So I love that move. Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think, I wasn't super happy about the move at the time, but considering the options we had, there really weren't any great options. So I think Ryan Fitzpatrick for 1 year-ish is a, okay signing. I think he had his best couple of years of his career were his last couple years. I think, with the right offense, he'll be able to succeed. Played pretty well last season with the Dolphins, with, not a great offensive team. Their offensive line was okay. The receivers weren't great, and the running back group wasn't great as well, and he still was able to, play pretty well for them. And, if he didn't get benched for Tua, they probably make the playoffs. Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think, with this offense, I think we designed it pretty well for him. We put, players that fit him pretty well. We brought in Adam Humphries, who he really likes. Eric Flowers, we traded for Eric Flowers from Miami, who played with Ryan Fitzpatrick this past season. So I think Ryan Fitzpatrick, it was a solid signing, especially considering the options that were available for us. And I think Fitzpatrick will have a solid season for us. I like the Adam Humphries signing as well. Very low risk signing, and he, had his best season of his career, best 2 seasons of his career with Ryan Fitzpatrick. So that's a great move. Got him for cheap. Samus Reyes, very, very low risk, possible high reward signing. He has a lot of potential. It's going to take some time, but I really think he has a chance to be a solid tight end in this league in a couple of years. And I like the Bobby McCain signing. We only had to give up like $1 or $2 million for him, and he's going to be able to compete for that starting safety job and play behind the best D-line he's played with. And we also got some depth pieces, Darryl Roberts, who can play a bunch of different spots in the secondary, David Mayo, Tyler Larson, and then Charles Leno's also a solid pickup. Only had to pay $5 million for him. He's going to be our starting left tackle most likely, and he's been solid for the last few years of his career. Free agency, I thought it was a great free agency for us. We didn't overpay, which is great. I think I would give this free agency kind of like an A grade. Only thing we weren't able to do is get our quarterback of the future, but again, there weren't really any options out there that could have been the quarterback of the future for the Washington football team. We traded for Eric Flowers. Really like that move because we're basically paying nothing for him for a guy that started for us in 2019 and played pretty well. And hey, if he doesn't start for us this year, that's totally fine because we gave up nothing for him and we're not going to be paying him much. So he's going to be able to be one of the best backups in the league if he doesn't start, but I do think he will be our starter at left guard. Free agency, really good. We filled up, wide receiver holes. We upgraded at cornerback and, got some other great depth pieces, including, Bobby McCain, who we did have a little bit of a hole at safety. He's going to compete to start. Charles Leno, hole at tackle. So I like those moves, and we did lose a few players. Ronald Darby, which I wanted to bring him back, but we got an upgrade with William Jackson. We lost Ryan Kerrigan, which is unfortunate, but we already have great edge rushers, and it would be great to have some depth, but it didn't end up working out. And really, those are our only losses. We lost Kevin Pierre-Louis as well, but not a huge loss. Real quick in front office, I think we brought in some really good guys to come here and build this team. Guys that are gonna, that trust Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera trusts them. They're all bought in, which I really like. And, Martin Mayhew, Marty Herney, both have a bunch of experience. They also brought in Chris Polian. All, three of them were former GMs. They got a lot of experience. And so far, I think they've done a pretty good job, but we'll have to see when it, how they've done once the season starts. One small negative, I think we all wanted them to keep Kyle Smith. They didn't do that, and Kyle Smith is gone, but, that's just how the business works. So let's get into the draft and then look at the cap situation that, we're in for the next couple of years, which is really good. In the draft, we also filled some needs as well. Pretty much all of our needs. Linebacker, we couldn't get it done in free agency. We did it with our first round pick, Jamin Davis. Love the pick. He's good. He's perfect guy for the culture. A freak athlete, which is a common theme with these draft picks. And I think he fits this system well, and rangy, good in coverage. And I think he's going to be one of the front runners for Defensive Rookie of the Year this year, especially playing behind this defensive line. Samuel Cosmi, I like the pick too. Some teams had him as a late first. Washington had him as a first rounder. They had him graded as a first rounder. Got him in the second, and that's, a reason why they moved on from Morgan Moses. We'll see if he plays on the right side. He's probably going to be competing at right tackle with Cornelius Lucas. We'll see if he wins out that job, but I hope he does because I want to see him year one. I don't like having a second round pick really sit the whole year. Benjamin St. Juste, I like the pick too. Provide some depth at the very least for the first couple years. And he's got some really good potential at cornerback. I think he's going to be an outside cornerback. And in an ideal world, in a year or two, your cornerback trio would look like William Jackson on the outside, Benjamin St. Juste on the outside, and then Kendall Fuller in the slot. I think that would be great right there. De'Ami Brown, I love the pick. Had 2 seasons of over 1,000 yards back to back, plus 10 touchdowns in each year. love the pick. I think he's going to be great for us. Some things he still needs to work on, but that's with every pick. And I think playing with Ryan Fitzpatrick and, playing with Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel is going to help him out. John Bates, also a solid pick. A lot of draft experts thought we could have gotten him later, but I'm going to trust Martin Mayhew and these guys in their evaluation of him. Logan Paulson, Chris Cooley, both really, really love the pick, and I think he fits what they want, a blocking tight end that can catch some passes as well. I think he's going to be their second tight end this year behind Logan Thomas. Derek Forrest, good special teams player for us is what he's probably going to be early on. Maybe develops into a solid safety. Cameron Cheeseman fills a hole. Not ideal to, use a draft pick on a long snapper, but that's fine. If he's here for 5+ years, it doesn't really matter. And the last 3 picks also pretty good. I think they got good value on each of the 3 7th-round picks, and I think they all have a chance to make this roster. And I like their undrafted free agent player that they brought in, Jarrett Patterson. So I think all in all, they did a really, really good job in the draft. Just didn't get the quarterback of the future, which they had a chance to do if they really wanted to trade up, but they didn't, and I think that's fine. So overall, this offseason, I think the Washington football team did really well. I'm going to give them an A grade. They filled pretty much all of their holes: wide receiver, linebacker, tight end depth, tackle, safety, pretty much everything, and added some other players. They did lose Morgan Moses, which is unfortunate, but I think Samuel Cosme will be ready to step in. And their cap situation, they got a bunch of really great guys in free agency, but they have right now $55 million in cap space for 2022 for next offseason, which puts them in 5th overall. So, and you look at the rest of the division, I mean, we're in a great situation. The Eagles, they aren't in a terrible situation, but they're still in the 20s. And then you go down, the Cowboys and the Cowboys are negative 25 million, and the Giants are right above there. So I think we did a really, really good job. Got no dead money, which is also great. So props to our front office for that. And yeah, I think we've brought in some guys, during this free agency draft and trade and other stuff. We brought some guys in that are bought in. A lot of these guys are super, super athletic, and most of these guys fill some holes that we had. So I think we did a really, really good job in this offseason. Just didn't get the quarterback of the future yet, so we'll see how that goes. But who knows with all these disgruntled quarterbacks if we end up getting one. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video. And peace.